Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, I've been watching Bivol train, Dmitry Bivol train, and Bivol looks massive to me. He looks huge, and he looks strong. The way he's hitting the bag, he's hitting it with a lot of intention, and even the way he's training, he's doing some weights, and it looks like he's doing a lot of strength, a lot of power training, a lot of explosive power training. I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking to hurt Canelo in this fight. And I feel like not looking to knock him out, so to speak, but looking to push Canelo back and use his strength and use that size that he has, and feels that he could hurt Canelo. And if the knockout comes, it's a bonus. But I think Bivol. Here's the thing. I believe that Bivol realizes that he's not going to be able to pity pat his way to a decision here. He's going to have to be spiteful, hurtful with his punches. There's no way he can just pity pat and look to box and move, because we know that it's going to be hard for him to win a decision against Canelo. So I think what Bivol is doing, Bivol is working hard on his explosive power so he can dig down deep, dig down with the shots and look to hurt and push Canelo back. And listen, he is a bigger man. You know, he is fast. He has got speed. So if he can put those punches together, and what's his name? Abel Sanchez says something about Bivol, that the reason why he doesn't think Bivol can win this fight is because Bivol doesn't take chances. If Bivol wants to win this fight, he has to take chances. Bivol, if he can use his speed, and then obviously the training that he's doing, weight training, he's obviously going to build some power. And for me, he needs to use speed and power, because I don't think movement speed is going to beat Canelo. And I think Canelo's mastered how to break those guys down. I think you need to have somewhat power. You need to have power in order to beat Canelo Alvarez. If you're a guy that lacks power, Canelo, you're not going to beat Canelo. You're not. So Bivol, for me, is working on his power, because if you look at Bivol's last couple of fights, he hasn't looked very impressive. He's looked very, very, even against Craig Richards, he was kind of going through the motions, and really he didn't even look like he had power against someone of that level, who's British level, really. In order for him to beat Canelo, he's going to have power in his punches. He's going to have to be able to push Canelo back. He's going to have to be able to hurt Canelo. If he's not able to hurt Canelo, then he's not going to win this fight, in my opinion. Not necessarily hurt him and stop him and knock him out, but hurt him in the sense is make him respect his power, be able to push him back. You know, I feel like Bivol's going to have to be able to get Canelo's respect. If he's not able to, it's going to be very difficult for Bivol to win this fight. And I think he's training for that. I think he's training in the gym, because I've seen some of the stuff that he's been doing, not just boxing, but like workout, strength and conditioning and stuff. And it looks like he's working to increase his power. I think that's a good move. I do. I think Bivol should work on his power. Not to say that he's going to stop Canelo, but the reason why he should work on his power is because I think he needs to dig down with those shots in order to get Canelo's respect. If he's able to get Canelo's respect, he can make this fight a lot more comfortable for himself. If he's not able to hurt Canelo, then Canelo will, somewhere along the fight, he'll start to, up the pressure and start, pushing you back. And Canelo's very spiteful, very hurtful. He's very strong. And if you're not able to make him worry about anything, he's just going to keep coming forward. And I think he's going to eventually, over the rounds, he'll up the pressure, and eventually he'll get to you and start hurting you. So I think Bivol working on his power, I think is a beautiful thing. I think it's a very good thing. Because I think he's going to need that. I think he's going to need to be able to push Canelo back and use his size, use his strength. Now, I know Bivol's not that type of guy. Bivol is a guy that uses his movement speed in order to outbox guys. But here, I think he's going to have to, like, with John Pascal, I saw some of the highlights of Bivol and John Pascal. Bivol was really digging down on those punches and really pushing and hurting Pascal. He's going to have to do the same with Canelo. Now, Canelo is an Iron Man. Canelo has shown that no real he's never really shown any kind of um, any kind of weakness when it comes to punch resistance, or toughness or body shots. He's a guy that takes punches very well. So he's not really shown in his peak years that he's vulnerable to anything. So Bivol hasn't got anything to gauge or anything to work towards in the fight in terms of hurting him. But if he can even gain, like, I felt Golovkin gained Canelo's respect. And Canelo wasn't just throwing. Canelo had to be very smart, because I think Canelo, you could tell from his body language and his facial expressions that Golovkin was punching power was definitely bothering him. And if Bivol can do the same, I think with the Bivol movement and boxing on the outside, I think he has a good chance to possibly pull off an upset. If he's able to hurt Canelo. I think it comes down to that. He's going to have to be able to get Canelo's respect. If he gets Canelo's respect, then he has a good shot. And look, he may even be working for the knockout. Look, Bivol may look at it this way, right? That I'm the bigger man here. He's coming to my weight class. I'm bigger than him. I'm a lot taller than him. I'm going to look to hurt him. I'm going to look to really push him on the back foot and look to hurt him and stop him. Look, Bivol might have to fight the big man fight. He might have to fight, a fight where he fights like he's the bigger man, because he is the bigger man. He's the bigger man, naturally the bigger man. He's naturally a 175-pounder. Canelo's not naturally a 175-pounder. This is a guy that's come from welterweight. So Bivol is the naturally bigger man, and he needs to fight like the naturally bigger man. He needs to be able to obviously take Canelo's punching power and take Canelo's obviously very physically strong. He might be small, but he's very physically strong fighter. And he's not a guy that you can really push around with physically. He's very, very built like a house. So he might be short and stocky, but he's built like a house, and he's very difficult to budge. But I think it's going to be very fascinating, because there's going to be there's going to be a lot of jewels going on inside that ring, and it's going to be interesting to see when Bivol lands on Canelo, what kind of reaction it has, because I think that might determine the outcome of the fight. Because if Bivol's not able to hurt Canelo, it's a wrap. If you can't hurt Canelo, you can't beat him. Now, people say Mayweather, but that was a very young Canelo. Canelo's got more and more experience fighting these type of styles. So Bivol's going to have to be able to hurt and push Canelo back. If he's not able to do that, then I'm sorry, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, because trust me on this, Canelo will get to Bivol. He'll find a way to cut the ring off, get to Bivol, and look to push him and hurt him. That's what Canelo does. Look what he did with Plant. Look what he did with Saunders. See, those guys weren't able to hurt Canelo. So Canelo had no respect for their power. Canelo kept walking forward, and eventually Canelo was able to break them down, and eventually stop them. Canelo will do the same with Bivol if he's not able to stop it. I do think Bivol has a little bit more spite in his punch. Well, I think he has a lot more capability. He's bigger, he's stronger, and I think the way he throws his punches, I think there's more spite there than Saunders and than Caleb Plant. Like, they're almost like, their punches are like, not to sound disrespectful, but like almost pity pat for Canelo. Like, they have nothing on their punches, Plant and Saunders, that are going to be able to really... Like, Saunders has nothing on his punch. He's not a big puncher. And he's a single shot puncher. At least Plant throws punches in combinations. Not to say it's hard to land on Canelo in combinations. It's very difficult, for you to land one shot at a time. Saunders landed a couple of shots, but they had no venom in them. They had nothing that was going to really hurt or push Canelo back. And that was a problem that Saunders had in the fight against Canelo, that he just wasn't able to touch him, and neither was Plant. And if you're not able to do that, then Canelo's just going to keep walking forward and up the pressure, and eventually he's going to get you. He's going to break you down and take you out of there. Bivol, for me, has more power in his punches than those guys, but it's just whether he can gain Canelo's respect, where Canelo's wary of coming forward, where he's kind of thinking to himself, whoa, I can't just walk forward against this guy like he did with Golovkin. He wasn't able to walk forward because he realized, I know in the second fight he did, but Golovkin fought a kind of a different fight in the second fight, Golovkin fought completely different to what he did the first fight. So it's going to be very important to see. I think the first couple of rounds, will show us a lot in this fight. I think the first couple of rounds and who dictates and who takes the center of the ring, who's dominating, who's pushing the other guy back, I think that will determine this fight and determine how the pattern of this fight and how this fight might go. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, very, very interesting to see whether, you know, Bivol is working on his strength. Can he power? Can he look to knock? Is he looking to knock Canelo out? Let's see. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think it's wise for Bivol to be working on his power? Or do you think he should just look to box and move? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.